the Guts to Fail. It's 10 o'clock on November 12th, and we have Becca Niederkrom. This is her second time to be on. We had her about a year and a half ago. She has spoken at DFW Social Media Marketing, and she was a huge hit. Everybody resonated with what she had to say, but more importantly, how she says it. She's real. And y'all, I am nothing when it comes to social media compared to this one. I learn from people like her. So I'm just going to let her talk to you about why she has pivoted to BeccaNiederkrom.com and more of a consulting role since Corona, and what she did before in Corona and how it has transitioned into what she does now. So I'm so excited to have you. Welcome and take it away. Your story.
So thank you for all the kind words. Like, I had so much fun speaking at your social media event, and it seems like it wasn't that long ago, but with 2020, it seems ages and ages and ages ago when we were all together laughing and eating pizza, and that was a great group and great people. And, you know, if we're going to talk about pivot, my gosh, like it is, my life is a year of pivots, a week of pivots, a day of pivots. And so once we embrace the pivot, that's where life gets really, really fun. And just to backtrack a little bit, social media, like you are the best of social media. Your writing, your personality. When I do a lot of my social media, I have to write sometimes as different people and different characters, and you never know what's going to trigger someone. But, you know, when I watch you, you just go in there, like just balls to the wall. Like, here's what I have to say. And it's
I don't know the rules like you do. I don't know any of the rules, so I just do it. And it might not be right, but it's me.
Dude, that's the thing. There's no rules. Like, okay, so if I'm writing on LinkedIn, it's going to be a little bit different than Instagram. Mm-hmm. But other than that, there's no rules other than to figure out, this is what I tell my clients all the time, is like, you have to figure out how to get people to know you, like you, trust you, and then give you money. And so however that works for you is really all you need to lean into. And that's something, even though I preach those words, I'm always trying to remind myself, like, Becca, be you. Like, I might go read a book and then I start to lean in that direction of who I'm reading. And it's like, I've got to figure out from everything that I'm taking in, how do I do it in my way? And then when it comes to, like, I have to work for other clients, I do have to adopt their voice. So that's sometimes not as fun, or I'm trying to teach them that there's no rules and to let the data tell us how we're doing. And let me explain that a little bit further. So some clients I've worked with in the past, or I just hear different stories where they want to talk about, like, what are we going to say? How are we going to say it? What image are we going to put up there? And they'll spend hours strategizing on the best things to do and say. And you know what? You got to let it rip. Just let it rip. Do it over and over and over again. Show up consistently. So one of the rules of social media is you got to show up. Like, you can't show up when you feel like it. You can't show up once a month. You've got to show up consistently. And then you actually have data to look back and find out, what did people really appeal to? And it doesn't mean you have to do that all the time, but you know what's working. And so, that's really the rule of social media, is let it rip. Let it rip. Be yourself. And then go find.
That is your name. That is let it rip social media. That is. And you know, okay, so what you're saying is resonating with me so much, and I'm taking feverish notes over here. But let it rip. I like how you said you have to show up consistently, not just when you feel like it. So scheduling your social media, so it's marketing by design, not default. You can default post all day as long as you have the design going for you too. But at least, even if your design doesn't work, at least you see that, and you can see pieces that did work and then go back and do it again. But people are so afraid to mess up in public. They feel like this is public.
It
And,
is.
you know, well, it is, but the people don't care and they don't remember. And quite frankly, everybody likes it when we screw up. They're like, oh, look at that loser. And then they get over it, right?
But here's the thing, if you screw up, so one of my pages is We Are Calling County, and I have to say, like, I feel like for your audience, like, I get it, because I can say the sky is blue, and some person, let's call her Karen. let's say Karen is like, no, the sky is actually periwinkle, or that part of that's
so
not in Calling County. What's that?
How dare you call it blue? That's so racist.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. So I feel like this year it's definitely walking on eggshells. And so I pivoted in the direction I want. I had to figure out, okay, what's going to work for me? Where am I going with this particular site? Because I have other websites. And yeah, sometimes you just have to make the call, but you have to know you're going to step in a pile of big old doo-doo sometimes. And if it gets you engagement, at least, you know, that's good. So the next post you do will get better. But here's what's really important about that is that I get it, because sometimes I've had strangers yelling at me, and it doesn't feel good. What you need is you need a tribe. You need other people who are walking your journey. If it's a beginner journey, have people that you can go and you can vent to and rant, figure out how to navigate these situations. And to go back on what you said about scheduling, I have a client and I said, please, you've got to schedule. I want you to schedule everything ahead of time, because one day you're gonna wake up, you're not gonna feel like it. You're just not gonna feel like doing jack crap. And there are other days you're gonna actually be sick, or life is gonna curveballs come at you.
Your dog's gonna be sick. Your car's gonna break down.
Exactly.
Your boat's gonna break in the right before, whatever.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is, like, for me, it seems like one day I'm going 100 miles per hour. The next day I'm like, ugh, here I go. I've got to rev myself up. But I know the next day I'll be super speedy again. So I have this ebb and flow. And so what I tell clients is, you've got to sit down. If you want to do your social, get it out. If it's your content, just when you're feeling creative, go for it. Batch your work. If it's getting all your images or all your videos, all your content. And another thing is, like, do it half-ass. Like, in all the different social media platforms, you can schedule out and you could go back and edit. So even if you get just a blurb of an idea and you have a month out or 2 months out where you're like, okay, I think I'll throw in some of these pictures. I'll figure out what I want to add to it later. Do it. So that's called batching. And I tell clients, like, hey, you've got to sit down and figure out, and I know you do this, you do your done in a day, where people can come and get it done, and they need to use those tools and resources that you have to get it done. And if you're not going to show up, then don't bother. You're always going to have an excuse. And so I've definitely pivoted away from anyone who gives me excuses.
So let me talk to you about that. So the done in a day seems a little final, you know, like, oh gosh, it's all done and I did it all in one day and all my decisions are done. No, I love how you said on every platform, you can go back and edit it. Mm-hmm. I do batch my work. I give it to, we schedule it. And then when I see it pop up in the morning, first thing I do, roll out of my bed, like, what time is it? And I look and I'm like, ooh, I have so many typos, or I don't like what I said there, because I was drinking when I did it, or, you know, whenever I wasn't drinking, I a little stiff. So I edit things even after it posts, and only like 3 people saw it, and those 3 people are not going to make or break me. And usually the 3 people that saw it are like my closest tribe, and they're like, oh, there's Brooklyn again. You know, she's going to edit this. I know it. I don't even need to tell her. So you're right. You're right. The edit is important. Just because you're done in a day and you've batched your work doesn't mean you can't go back and tweak it.
No, it's just take that heavy load off your shoulders and get a chunk of it. It's like if you're in the kitchen, you're preparing a meal, you're going to maybe chop up the veggies, get the turkey ready, chop the potatoes, put them in the water, but not turn it on. You're batching every day in your life. And it can make your system so much more powerful. So I do a lot of content marketing too. So just platform marketing. And so it's like, if I can just do pictures, if I can do 20 posts, by post, I mean actual blog post. And let's say I do all the pictures first, and then I go back and I do the content, and then I go back and I add the affiliate links, and then I'll go and edit. And sometimes I forget to edit, it's published. I'm like, oh, well, now there's more urgency, so I guess I'll do it first thing this morning. So it's just, it is what it is. You got to roll with it. But if you're not willing to commit, then get out of the game.
Okay, so wait a minute. So there's a couple of things I have questions about. So I'm doing this, and Marie does that.
What is that?
This means I have something to say. Like you said something that triggered something else, so I'm remembering it. This is one thing, and this is another.
You need a T-shirt. You need a T-shirt like that.
Yeah.
Not maybe, I don't know.
Hey, I need to have a product to sell, so my next T-shirt is going to be this. That is so I freaking love that. Okay, but you said on batching, even when you get blog posts done, so you have all these ideas for blogs, and so this one's going to be about this and this and this and this. You'll add all your pictures to it, because that's a chore in of itself. Figure out what pictures you want. Watermarking, editing, upload, whatever it is that you do. Yep. But then you have all those blog posts done. I've got this written down. Then you go back and add your content. Then you make it all SEO perfect. And oh, wait a minute, I need to add an affiliate link here. Oh, and then even if it's about to publish, then you have like 10 hours to figure it out. That I always, even when I shower, I feel like I have to do it all at once. I have to do all the shaving, all the washing, all the scrubbing, the hair, the makeup, the deodorant, the mask. I can't just half-ass anything. I got to do all of it. But what you're saying to the audience here is you're giving us permission to half-ass it at first and get better as you go. But if you just half-ass it and you do it right when you need it, then that's your best go, right? So that is important. How do you deal with clients? The people that come to Done in a Day say that when they hire someone to do their marketing, it doesn't sound like them. Or they get frustrated about what's being posted because it's not what they would have posted. What is your procedure for getting around that and dealing with clients that are green at the process, and the creative process online can sometimes get snarky?
Well, I would first ask, depending on who the client is, what do you mean they're outsourcing their marketing? Are they outsourcing their social media?
Yes. Like they're posting and like Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, why are they outsourcing?
Because they don't think that they're capable of doing it, but yet they are a cook in the kitchen when it comes to critiquing what is being done. So they don't figure out how to do it themselves, because they feel like they feel like they have to know it all to be able to do it. They have to do it all right perfectly. So instead of that learning curve that will inevitably take them a lifetime, like it does us when we're still learning, they don't understand that, so they outsource it. But then when they outsource it, they don't have the words to be able to hold them accountable for doing it right. I don't know if it's working. All I know is I don't like what's being posted or something like that. What is the process for talking to your client prior to, so that y'all get on the same page as far as the personality of the brand and stuff?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to strategy. It's, if you're going to hire someone, have a strategy session with that person. Give that person, as the CEO of your business, you are in charge of bringing them into your story. So it's 100% on the business owner if they want to outsource it. And what I see many times is it happens, and there's a lot of pressure on the assistant or the marketing agency to write one post and turn the business owner into a millionaire. Now, I'm not saying that happens all the time. I've seen enough of it to be able to say that. And the business owner, what I see is the business owner is like, okay, here's what I'm doing. It's just really easy. and I want you just to take a look at this, and then I want you to formulate post and go right over here. And that sums up the instruction. And maybe your audience can relate, maybe not, but this is what I'm seeing. And it's really unfair to your marketer that you're hiring. You need to sit down and have a strategy. They need to know what your end goal is. They need to know who you're talking to, what their triggers are, what their hopes and goals are, and they need to start learning from you as the business owner what you're trying to say out there. And that is an ongoing conversation. But I would say at the start, there needs to be a very in-depth conversation and strategy session about it. Also, benchmark. So what I mean by that is, who do you like out there? Like, I happen to love Frank Body. Frank Body, I believe it's an Australian brand. There's my accent.
That was great.
Was that amazing? My husband's like, please stop. Frank Body does an amazing job of copywriting and branding and talking to its end user. And so if you're going to pass it on, which I would say hang on to it yourself, make sure you're having that strategy. Make sure they know who the end user is. The other thing is, what is less objective, meaning what can the marketing agency do for you that you could say, okay, I 100% know they could run with this. So maybe it's reposting pictures or resharing a blog post link or cross-promoting where there's no gray, it's as black and white as possible. So just like an employee that gets training and gets 90 days to really ramp up to understand the company, this is what a business owner needs to be doing with their marketing agency, is give them that time. I'm not seeing that time. I'm not seeing that grace. Also, how are you measuring? What's the KPI? What is the measurement here with social media? And social media changes all the time. Are you allowing to learn for yourself what the new tips and tricks and all the things are, all the bells and whistles? And are you allowing that time for your marketing agency, your marketing assistant to do as well? Were you marketing during the election? Were you spending money on paid ads? Because Trump and Biden were spending about $20 million in a 2-day span. So you lost all your ad money.
Yeah.
if you did that, because the competition, there's scarcity and inventory. So knowing these things, and you're the leader, you hire the agency and know what the roles are.
I love that you said that. Something that I got out of that was, a lot of times, especially newer businesses, have these giant expectations because they're doing all the things. They think, oh, I'm just going to outsource this. They know how to do it, so they're just going to do it. But they don't want to put the effort into what they're asking for, like those hard questions. Who specifically is your audience? What are you trying to say? What do they want you to say? What are their pain points? How are you solving the problem? And people are like, I just sell soap. Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? They don't know on that part. And so the gray area behind it, the training the people about your attitude and your passion for what you do and why you do it and who it's for and all that. You said a 90-day training period, and people just are like, I just want to hire someone and it be done. And that is not how social media marketing works, because the social is not there if you're just throwing up a post. That's not, just make a postcard for that. That's not social media. That's not engaging. So I love that their expectations are high and their efforts in are low. And that's very backwards.
Yeah.
You have a lower expectation because it takes a while to build a brand and get traction in the marketplace, because you need at least a month to go back and see what wasn't working, and then you need to reconvene and more effort. And then the people are like, oh, this isn't working, and they throw it away prematurely. So I love that. But I also like how you pivoted to consulting, because at the end of the day, we are our best marketer, because we won't have to. It's kind of like insurance. You can put it in the premiums up front to have a lower deductible, or you can have lower premiums and a higher deductible later. So if you're the best marketer,
Yeah.
then instead of spending all that time teaching someone who you are and who your brand is, spend that time learning how to do it yourself. Where are you going to put your time? In the learning it or paying? And I love your tell us about how you got into consulting from we are Collin County, we are Dallas Fort Worth.
All of it.
Yeah.
All the stuff out there. So my background is in channel sales management and working with clients. And when someone was giving me a paycheck every week.
What is channel sales management?
So sort of, it's sales, it's account management. Let's say, okay, Charmin toilet paper, right? It gets sold at Target, Walmart, blah, blah, blah. So I would be the person managing all of those relationships. No, I didn't work for Charmin. No, you can't get the toilet paper hookup here, as much as we all might need it eventually. Maybe not. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Cancel. I didn't say that.
You can still only buy one package of toilet paper at a time. I have three different households, and I can only buy one package of toilet paper at a time at Target, just so y'all know.
That is a principle called scarcity. It's a marketing principle, and it's brilliant. And but not so brilliant if you're like our household and we buy toilet paper at the very last minute. We have 3 bathrooms. We will be down to 1 roll in 1 bathroom. We're like, we should probably go. I think that's when the first toilet paper crisis started, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to stop being this person. But you know what? I have not stopped being that person. And so now, like at night, I have nightmares. Like, is this going to happen again? But so to bring back the sales management is I love transforming. I love talking to people. I love working on my own projects. So I actually have my hands in the dirt and I'm figuring things out, making lots of mistakes as well, or learning. I just call it all data. It's less mistakes than it is like data. Oh, okay. Don't know something until you try it. And so I love talking to people and having that variety in my day so that I can bring back. What I've noticed with online marketing and digital marketing is that it's seen as this like unicorn miracle. You've probably heard me say this before. It's this miracle. But the thing is, marketing and sales have not changed at all. We just have different vehicles to talk to people. And when I can tell a client like, hey, we need to use, I was talking to someone this week and I said, have you heard of the principle of social proof? And they hadn't studied any social proof. They just wanted to do, they just wanted leads. They just wanted to get money in the door. But marketing can only go so far. And then it goes into the actual conversation, whether you have a booth at the farmer's market or at trade days, or if you have a store, you're online. How you talk to people is where marketing brings your potential client to. And so understanding like social proof, meaning clients want to know other people have used your product and seen a transformation. So if we were to talk about a soap maker, we all know a number of soap makers around Texas because we have goat farms and fabulous ingredients to make these soaps. It's the person doesn't want to be, your client doesn't want to be the only person buying the soap. They want to know other people have purchased, they've purchased the charcoal lavender soap and they were hesitant at first. But they ended up not only buying once, but they came back to buy this charcoal soap for every member of their family. And they had, phone calls saying this is the most wonderful sudsy, lathery soap they've ever tried. And so market, but you've got to use some of those terms in sales and marketing that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years in your conversations now. And so that's really what draws me to it is I love talking to people, but I see people going down this miracle road to riches. And it could be, maybe it's not, but there's a lot that needs to be talked about. And what is that number for you? And how can we make that happen with changing our conversations, changing our marketing and sales, and using the platforms that we have at hand?
Right. So when I tell people that they have to be EIEIO online, specifically the inspirational piece, Would you say social proof is inspiring to your audience to want to buy it too? Because it's the law of community or whatever. It's scarcity, community, and what's the other one?
Authority, urgency. Yeah, so it's whatever, depending on the conversation that you're having. So maybe it's online, maybe it's a private message, maybe it's through email or in person. Social proof is one of those that can help convert that person. And so if that's what comes up, people want to be part, you're right, people want to be part of a community. They want to know they're not alone. I'll tell you, on Park Boulevard in Plano, I can't even think of the name right now, there is a restaurant. It's a Greek restaurant, and we drive by it on our way home. That's like we almost have to pass by it. And every single time we pass by, my husband Brian and I, we see no one in the parking lot of this restaurant. And so we continued year after year to pass by this restaurant, which was like on path to our home. One day we decided to stop at this restaurant. White tablecloth, candlelit dinner, the most amazing like lemon chicken soup, all the Greek things that they make. It was amazing. We were the only ones in the restaurant. But what happens when you go by a place that has nobody in the parking lot, it doesn't pull you in. And so it would have been best if they took all of their employee cars and put them in the front of the parking lot, had their friends come over, put up a sign. This is why you see like open signs and those like those inflatable, my husband can do a good impression. Yeah, those wiggly inflatable things where it just pulls people in like, hey, this is an exciting place to be. And so what does that look like for your business? And that's what people have to ask themselves.
Wow. That's really good.
That was it. The impression that was good.
Yes. Just figuring out what it is for your business that is the inflatable or the employee parking lot. I love also how you said mistakes just equal data.
What's that? Say that again.
I like how you said mistakes equal data. Period.
Period.
All it is, and it can be said, you either win or you learn. And
yes,
you either win or you learn, mistakes or data. And your hands in the dirt, and you like transforming clients' brand, but also when you're consulting with clients and seeing the light bulb pop off in their head, like they get it, and then they see results, and they can go back and see that, you know, they put something up, they just did it, they're consistent, and now they have something to mull over and mold for the next month. Others want to know others have used it. Yes. Okay, so man, so many things. I've got 3 pages of notes. In the last minute or so, tell us how we can connect with you, follow you online, and what your current business goals that you're working on right now. Because I know you always have your hands into something, and you have like, ooh, this is what I'm doing next.
Just like you, just like you.
Yes, I think we get along. That's one of the reasons. Okay, tell me about that.
Okay, so BeccaNiederkrom.com. Yes, I am the name behind some businesses. It's not always the best place to get me though. BeccaNiederkrom.com. LinkedIn is great because it's me. I love connecting. I love supporting. If you're on there, like, I want you to connect with me, and I want to see your post, and I want to support you over on LinkedIn. There's a lot happening out there in the world right now, and so however I can just give you a little like or a heart or something, a high five, definitely important to support you.
So LinkedIn and BeccaNiederkrom.com.
Yeah.
We had talked a little bit about you being on DFW, or being our first speaker of the year in DFW social media marketing. I still want that to happen, but even if you're not our first and maybe you're our second or whatever, I just want everyone on here that watches the playback later and when we upload it to YouTube to know that you will be one of our speakers, if not January, we're still working that out, definitely February. And your conversation in person is just so fantastic, just like it is online. But meeting you in person is a whole different fun ball game.
Is it, or is it awkward? I find myself quite awkward.
No.
I like to do my double chin.
I call it quirky and interesting. Yeah. Social media can be like really like, we're gonna need some social media now, and then you are not like that. You are like, you keep it real.
I'm a dog mom, and I've got something to tell you about sales and marketing. Are you ready? And people are like, what?
Huh?
Where did that come from?
I'm gonna wear a turkey suit. Yeah. I mean, yours is so amazing.
Oh, it's almost time for the turkey suit. I'm so excited.
That's right. So y'all have to follow her on LinkedIn and go to her website. You have to see her turkey suit. What are you working on right now? And then we will say goodbye. What is your next goal?
So interestingly enough, I'm doing a little bit of a pivot.
Just for today, is it weekly or yearly?
This might be a little long term. So I do a lot of content websites and work with clients, and I started doing a lot of work with Pinterest. And just like all social media sites, this one's throwing so many curveballs. You'll see the work I do on Pinterest, with Pinterest templates on beccaniederkrom.com. Okay. But I think I'm going to probably switch out and put my consulting stuff on the front page and put Pinterest behind the scenes. Okay. Because it's like people come to me for a lot of different things, and I'm just really trying to work on the umbrella so I can have just 1 hour consults or email quick questions, whatever it is, and put some of those other things that I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it 100% of my focus, and kind of just push it over, which is the fun thing. If you guys are all online, you have your businesses online, you just have to zhuzh things around sometimes and refocus. And that's, if you're online, it is a magical world, but it does change a lot, and you've got to be ready to just roll with those punches and figure out what do you like and what can make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pivot.
Okay. So Pinterest, you're working on Pinterest. That gets my interest because that's the one platform that I am slacking on and the one that I need to be on the most. So I'm going to go look at that. I really appreciate you. I know you're a busy lady, and I love you so much. And I'm so glad that you took the time to be with us today. I will talk to you later. I'll see you at DFW Social Media Marketing, and I'm going to go post something on LinkedIn so you can heart it.
I'll go heart it. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me on and listening.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.